V dnešním videu bude Jeff vzpomínat na den, kdy se stal obětí násilné loupeže.
That one actually happened after another one that had happened. I was riding the bus one time.
Yeah.
And so I have one that, you know, I got fucked with when I was walking. I got fucked with when I was driving. And then I have one that actually I was walking also, but I was taking, you know, public transportation. And I was coming home from a friend's house, and it was actually 420.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, I don't know if you know, but
Big
that's like the
holiday
big holiday over here. Everyone smokes weed and gets stoned and shit, you know. And so I was over at a buddy's house hanging out with him and his girl and getting stoned and drinking, and you know, I was like, well shit, you know, I got responsibilities to do tomorrow, you know, so I had no way to get home. I'm gonna take the bus. They dropped me off at the bus stop. I, you know, hopped on the bus. I was getting fairly close to my house, and I noticed that these people were, you know, arguing back and forth. It was actually a guy and a girl at the back of the bus, and then there was a guy that was sitting next to me, like in the middle of the bus, and he was yelling at the guy in the back.
Yeah.
Like they had something going on, and he was
yelling across the bus.
Yeah, and they were just like, "Fuck you, homie," you know, fucking all. He's all like, "Yeah, I'll see you around one day," and da da da, and like
it
talking
happens on
shit.
the bus all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, if you ride the public transportation, I mean, I've seen crazy shit to where I'm just like,
videos of it.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is nothing. Like these fools just got beef or whatever it is.
Right,
so
right.
I'm just letting, they're just spouting off, and then, you know, the one guy gets up, and I was like, I thought a fight was gonna go down on the bus, but he gets up and he just sat a little closer to the guy that he was talking shit with. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck your bitch, you know, da da da. And he was like talking shit to, you know, him and his lady now at this point. He's like, and things are kind of escalating. And he's like, you know, they're like, hey, we're gonna get off the bus here and handle this shit right now. You know, they wanted to, I guess, fight and settle it or whatever. And I'm overhearing all this stuff, you know, from just because they're loud and obnoxious, and they're like a foot or 2 feet away from me. And it's a kind of, you have to, and the type of person I am, I have like a photographic and, you know, memory to where shit just it sits certain stuff, right, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I don't know, it just I have a photographic memory. It's kind of fucked up because a lot of the bad shit that's happened to me kind of still haunts me to this day. But I mean, it is what it is. But
yeah. So what happened on the bus?
They're talking shit, and one of the guys says to me, trying to get me involved. I didn't know at the time why or whatever, because I'm just like I don't. Leave me out of this, you know. But he was like, he was like, isn't there an alley that runs behind Roscoe right here? Isn't there an alley? Hey, yo, isn't there an alley that runs behind Roscoe here? You know, like trying to get my attention. And I'm like, I look and I'm like, yeah, there's one that runs behind Roscoe right here, yeah. And that's the one that actually runs all behind Roscoe. It goes right to my house. And so, like, as he's saying that, like, I'm like, you know, whatever. And my stop's coming up in like 3 or 4 more stops. And him and the guy are still like arguing, and like still like, I had no clue. I thought they were completely enemies, like they were getting ready to rip each other's face off.
Right.
And my stop comes up, and I get off the bus, and as soon as I get off, like I'm getting up, I see them all three getting up, the girl, the guy, and the other guy, and they're all getting up too. And as I'm like walking off, like I'm like, all right, you know, I walk, and the one guy gets off behind me, and he mumbles something about, like, to the other guy, saying like, I'm gonna beat your ass right now, or something, talking shit.
But they're talking to each other.
They're talking to each other.
So,
and they're just like 3 or 4 feet behind me, and I'm just kind of like, oh my God, these guys are just gonna fucking pound each other's face in right now.
Right.
And they're walking, and like, actually there's a bus stop, and then it goes like around the corner, because all bus stops out here are all right on the corner. So it's like they dropped us off, and we literally had to walk like 20 feet. And it's like the entrance to the alleyway. The alleyway runs right behind the main street that we got off on. So I walked about 20, maybe 15 feet, and I hear the one guy says, oh, here's the alley, perfect. And that's all I hear, and the fucking other dude jumps on my back and grabs me and starts choking me out. So and that was the smaller guy, and I come to find later on, I'll kind of tell, but he, so the one guy grabs me and starts choking me, and there's a girl, the girl runs around, and she's all like, hurry, 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 and the other guy grabs my pockets just like this and just rips down my pockets as hard as he can. And literally I was wearing jeans, and on the Dickie jeans, you know, they're well-made fucking, you know, homeboy was huge. Yeah. He was like, the guy that did this, the guy that choked me wasn't that big. But the other guy was like he was big, and he fucking just grabbed my pockets, ripped them, and it literally ripped my pockets off of my pants.
Wow.
They ripped all the way off and down. and he fucking took all the shit out of my pockets. And that was right there at that moment. The last thing I'm seeing is the girl saying, "Hurry, hurry, hurry," and the other guy is like standing there in front of me, like rummaging through my stuff, and I black out.
He's still holding you, or are you on the
ground? No, he's holding me. He's still choking me.
Time?
Yeah, the whole time he's choking me, and it's like I'm just trying to gasp for air. I'm like, I remember like just like that. How you see in movies, like you just like, and there's just nothing, and it's like just fucking. It just you can only do that so many times, and then there's no. I mean, I just went black.
Yeah.
So and all of a sudden, it was about maybe, I want to say a minute or so later, not even a minute, maybe 30 seconds or so. I lean up and I'm laying right in the middle of the alley, like in the gutter part, right in the center, like one apartment length into the alley. So when they choked me out, I was right on the sidewalk, and I woke up so they had dragged me into the alley.
Okay.
I don't know if they.
In the middle of the day, right?
No, this was like at like 9 or 10 o'clock, close to 9 or 10 at night.
All right.
It was close to like the last bus that was going to be going the other way. I remember.
I see.
Which is like around 10ish, 11. But
still kind of early though.
Yeah, no, still. I mean, it's people are coming and going places and shit like that.
420 on a Sunday.
Yeah, no, I mean there's
busy.
I mean, yeah, there's people getting off. I mean, there was the bus was like there was other people on the bus that I wished I mean they would vouch for. This was all like the other people were hearing this craziness going on and shit. So I come to find out, obviously that was all a front. They were just trying to distract me or trying to pick out who they were going to do this to.
Right.
And they choked me out, dragged me in the alley, took everything out of my pockets, robbed me for everything. And then I woke up and like saw them literally, like when I leaned up, I seen somebody. I didn't know it was them at the time because I don't know what happens when you get knocked out, but I literally was so clouded. My brain was like fogged out that I didn't even know that they had just done something bad to me for like a good like minute it took to realize. I just got up and I started stumbling to the end of the alley, and I look and I like seen them walking. They were still like a little ways away, and I turned and they turned around and I had a knife on me too, and I remembered that they had a knife also. But he pulled out a knife. I don't remember if it was mine or his, but he pulled out a knife and saw me behind him, and he was all like, "You follow us, we'll fucking kill you." And I was just like, oh shit, like, okay. So like, then all of a sudden everything kind of registered, and I was like, all right, these fools, like, I just, I just looked down, all of a sudden my pants were all torn down. I was like, okay, like I just got robbed. Like it just dawned on me. And so I just stumbled. Luckily my house was like literally not even a block away. It was like right there. So I went over to my house and I fucking, call me a cop caller or whatever you will, but to get these fucking ruthless people off the streets that'll do this shit to anybody, I mean, I'm sure they'll do it to somebody else that's less defenseless than myself. Right. I was able to possibly fight back, and they would do this to anybody. So got to kind of stand up for society,
That's
So
right.
I called the police, and fucking they caught him actually on the bus, or waiting to get on the bus, like 2 blocks down at the Walmart. They were trying to get back on the bus to go the other direction, and they caught him right at the stop, and they caught him with my knife on. The girl actually had my knife in her pocket or in her purse. Just my items were all on them that I had pointed out. And they caught him, and I actually had to go to court. They wanted me to actually go to court and finger the guys, like point them out and everything, and stand up for them in court. So I mean, I did all that. I had to do it. I had to stand up for what's right. And,
great.
But yeah, they luckily caught them. And
how long do you think? How much time did they do for that?
I would say probably at least a good 6 months to a year. And I found out that the one guy that choked me, he was actually wanted, or not wanted, but had 2 strikes already for strangulation.
Well.
Or one for strangulation, one for something ossifications, whatever, some shit, whatever. So he was like he liked to either torture people or do that type of shit. So
yeah.
I mean, and the other guy, he only had, one time he was in trouble or something. But these are both criminals that, they were definitely, hopefully, and if not, that didn't do it for good for him. I did it enough to where maybe they're like, okay, the next time there is no next time, So hopefully they won't mess with anybody else ever again.
So that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
So you got tipped out just for sitting on the bus.
Just for fucking just coming home. I was coming home, and actually, what happened was I was smelling. I know I smelled like weed because I was sitting in my buddy's apartment. We were smoking weed all day and shit. So they just were like, oh, this guy's maybe got some weed on him, or whatever they thought, And that's. But what basically,
you got. In a way, you got tipped out by responding to him, trying to be helpful. If you were on the bus saying, "Fuck off, don't talk to me," they would have moved on and found someone smaller.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, just the fact that I engaged and I was just okay and friendly with them and said, oh yeah, I think, yeah, there is an alley that runs right along here, or whatever it was.
There, yeah.
They were like, all right, this kid's already they've had experience obviously doing this, so you got to watch out for all sorts of scams, thieves, robbers, gang members, fucking. I mean, it's an obstacle course out there for sure.
I mean, for people in our country, in other words, you get hit on the bus by someone else, don't help them.
No,
it's
not always a good thing. It's not a good thing. I mean, you get an old lady that's looking to get helped off the bus or, across the street, which I've done.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But, anybody that, you just mind your own business.
Mind your own business.
You just ignore everybody and stick to your own shit.
That's the golden rule.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'll get you far.
Shit, great stories, dude.
Během toho, jak Jeff vyprávěl svůj příběh, nás napadlo hodně otázek. A právě na tyto otázky se ho zeptáme příště.